Hey Sass fam! Welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute, but I am so excited for today's tutorial. I have been wanting to do a cup like this for such a long time. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't want to show you guys too much because I want you to see the tutorial. Well, if you saw the cover, then you kind of know what it looks like, but I want you guys to see the tutorial. So keep on watching if you're excited to see how I got from a regular tumbler to this right here. Then go ahead and keep on watching. But before we jump into today's video, I want to take a little moment to say thank you to all of the members in the Creators Club. You guys know who you are. And if you are watching this video and you are a member of the Creators Club, I want you to comment hashtag the Creators Club down below so that I know you were one of the amazing people to watch this video. And if you are not part of the Creators Club, but you are still watching this video and you are obsessed with all things sugar and spice, then please comment hashtag SassObsessed down below. Now that that is done, let's go ahead and jump into today's. Alright guys, I am so excited for today's tutorial. We're going to be working on a Peekaboo Crackle bee tumbler, and I'm so excited because I've been wanting to do a cup like this for the longest time, and it's been a while since I did a Crackle tumbler here on my YouTube channel. If you have not seen my original Crackle YouTube tutorial where I did the sunflowers, I'm going to link it here so you guys can go ahead and check it out. So first, let me tell you the kind of cup that we're using for this tutorial. So this tumbler right here is a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler from Craft Haven Tumblers, and there is a link in the description with a discount code that you can use to save on your order. What I did first was I, of course, prepped my tumbler. I sanded it down, spray painted it with this beautiful metallic gold spray paint, and now I am sprinkling my favorite gold glitter called Goddess all over the base of the cup, and we are using resin as our adhesive. So I did mix in 2 mLs of resin, Counterculture DIY fast set resin, and I am sprinkling that gold glitter all over the cup until I am happy with the amount of coverage that I have. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, I love it. Oh my god, look at that sparkle. So next thing we're going to do, now that the resin has cured and the glitter is on there, we are going to seal all of that glitter in. So I did mix up 30 mLs of Counterculture DIY fast set resin, and I'm going to generously spread that all over the base of the cup until all of that glitter is covered with the resin. And besides putting glitter on my cup, my most favorite thing is adding resin because it just like pops. There's just this like coming to life when you add resin on top of glitter. It just takes your cup to a whole new level. Just look at how that gold color starts to pop as I apply my resin. It's just beautiful. So we are going to just quickly fast forward through this part. We're going to let that cure, and then once that is cured, we are going to go into the next step, which is sanding and applying our vinyl. So let's go ahead and fast forward. So when you are doing a peekaboo or anything that you're going to be applying vinyl or spray paint, you want to make sure that the base of your cup is as smooth as possible. So once my cup is nice and cured, I'm going to go in with my sanding block here, and I am going to start by sanding down the rough edges along the rim of my cup. I'm not trying to go in too deep into the glitter. I just really want to smooth down that rim just so that we have a little tiny bit of that lip exposed, so that when we apply the resin, it has something to adhere to and we don't have to worry about any discrepancies in our seal. And yeah, we're good to go on that. So I am just taking my sanding block and sanding around the rim. Once I'm happy with how that looks, I'm going to then focus on the bottom of my cup and the body of my cup. And I'm going to just continue to do that until I'm happy with how it looks and feels. after you are finished sanding, you can go ahead and wash off your cup. Make sure you don't have any dust, debris, oils, none of that stuff on there. So we're gonna wash it with soap and water. We're gonna let it dry, and then we will be ready to move on to applying our vinyl. Alright, so now it's time to apply our vinyl, and I am using Cricut brand removable vinyl. This is because we are going to be peeling these pieces back up. We're going to take them off the cup after we've spray painted. Okay, we are creating a Peekaboo tumbler. So you want to keep in mind that when you are at this step, wherever you lay this vinyl down, those are actually going to be the areas in which your bottom layer of glitter is going to be exposed. And so just keep that in mind when you are doing this spot, because yeah, it matters. Okay, so first thing I did with my image is I kind of pulled out that outline, because we are going to be using that outline on another part of the cup, but I wanted to kind of just lay the solid honeycomb images cutouts down first. So first of all, I want to tell you guys, I went to Cricut Design Space and I found these images on Cricut Design Space for free. Okay, these images were actually included in my Cricut Access. I'm not sure if they are free for those of you who are not signed up for Cricut Access, but I highly recommend signing up for Cricut Access because you get a lot of images. It's $9.99 a month. You get a lot of images. I don't have to download anything. These images are right there in Cricut Design Space. So I went to Cricut Design Space and literally just looked up images. I typed in honeycomb and I typed in bee images. And when I found the ones that I was happy with, I just put them on my mat, I sized them and cut them out. So definitely think about getting Cricut Access because I feel like it's very beneficial. You know, I mean, I'm not sponsored by Cricut or anything, but I just think that it's worth it. You know, you get the free images and you get really nice, pretty font and, you know, whatever. So anyways, right now I am just applying the vinyl honeycombs all over the cups. I know I wanted to kind of keep them sort of uniform, so like one on the top, one on the bottom, you know. So that's basically what I am doing. And once I've laid down all my vinyl and I'm happy with where they are located, yeah, we are ready for the next step. So I am going to show you how I put everything down. I'm going to kind of fast forward through, and then once I've applied all of my vinyl and I'm happy with where they are, I will go outside and we're gonna spray paint. So let's go. So here is the part where you can see where I utilized those outlines that I pulled up before in the beginning of when I was applying the vinyl. And I love it, you know, it gives it a different look. So pretty. So let's go ahead and spray paint. So boom, we spray painted. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go in with another color. I was originally thinking I was gonna go in with gold, but then I was like, you know what, let's do the undercolor black, because I think it would be a really pretty contrast with not only the gold glitter underneath, but with the white crackle that we are about to do. So once you've spray painted your cup, you want to let that fully dry. Okay, don't rush through. Let your spray paint fully dry. And then you are going to grab your Crackle medium. And the brand I like to use is by Folk Art, and you can find it in Michael's. I think you can find it in Walmart and Amazon. I usually get all of my stuff on Amazon. Okay, and I am also using a white paint, a white acrylic paint. You can use any brand you want, but I will have everything that I've used in the description down below. I am using 2 Wet n Wild brushes, and then I of course have my heat gun just to kind of speed up the drying process of this Crackle medium. So once you are ready and once your cup is dry with the spray paint, you're going to take your fluffy brush and you're going to dip it in that Crackle medium, and you are just going to put a nice thin layer of this Crackle medium all over the base of your cup. Okay, so you're going to smooth it out. You're going to make sure it's nice and even. You don't want any runs, no drips. You want your layer to be nice and thin. All right. And then you want to let it fully dry. I do use my heat gun to kind of help speed up the process, but you know, if you're not in a rush, you can set it down and you can let it dry and then come back to it in about 20 to 30 minutes. So now that we got that done, we are speeding it up. Here you can see I'm using my heat gun to kind of speed that drying process up, and I'm gonna just do that until it's dry. And once you have your Crackle medium nice and dry, this is where you are going to go right over with your white paint, okay? Now, this is a little bit tricky if you are a beginner because you need to make sure you have good coverage on your first swipe. Okay, with the Crackle medium, you cannot go over it. So wherever you paint white, you cannot really go over that white again because it will begin to pull off. Okay, so once you've applied it and you've smoothed it out and it starts to dry, you got to kind of move on. So I like to move pretty quickly in this stage. This painting is actually real time. I'm not speeding it up right now, and I'm going to leave it in real time so you can see just how fast it begins to crackle and dry, okay? So you guys have an idea of how you need to move along. So here's what I'm doing. I'm trying not to go too much back over, but you can already see that it is starting to crackle. So it happens quickly, okay? So just, you know, like I said, it may take a little bit of time, may take a little bit of practice to get it right. But once it starts to crackle, ooh, it starts coming to life, and it is so, I love this method. Oh my God, I love the crackle look on a cup. I just do. And the black and white, and then just wait until we pull up the vinyl and you start to see the gold underneath. I love it. It's so pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and fast forward to it being dry. All right, so now our top layer is dry and it is time to peel up those vinyl pieces that we laid down. Now, this part can be a little bit tricky because we have our vinyl and our vinyl is under the Crackle layer, the Crackle medium, the spray paint. Okay, so you want to take your time, you want to be careful with this part. And I was kind of like rushing through here, and I didn't let everything dry 100% before I started peeling it up. And I noticed that the Crackle medium was a little bit still tacky because it's like a glue, so it was peeling up the paint in certain areas on my cup. So let it fully dry before you start going in and pulling up your vinyl, so that you don't make any mistakes or peel anything up, okay? But yeah, so here I'm just going to start peeling up all of my vinyl, and you can see I'm starting to expose that gold glitter underneath. I know right now it looks a little bit crazy, but stick with us because this thing is going to be so beautiful at the end, okay? So we're gonna fast forward through this part because it's kind of boring and it's literally just peeling up the vinyl. Now, there was an area on my cup that you're gonna see later on that I actually missed that there was a honeycomb vinyl there. So yeah, just try to remember where you lay everything down because it's important. Y'all, so now we have the cup on the turner. What I didn't record was me spray sealing this cup. So before I put it on the turner, I did take it outside and go over with a clear spray sealer. I believe the brand I used was Krylon, but I will have it linked down below. And I just sealed it a few times so that, you know, everything was nice and sealed in before we go ahead and apply our resin. Now, I know the cup is looking crazy right now because we have our honeycombs exposed, our bees exposed, and we have the crackle. But once we are done applying this first layer of resin and it is nice and cured, we are going to accent all of our honeycombs with vinyl, with black vinyl. So we're gonna apply our resin all over. We're gonna let it dry. I am using a fast set resin. So after like 2 hours, I'm gonna go in and apply our vinyl. So let's go ahead and skip on forward. So I decided to leave my cup on the turner while I was applying the vinyl. All right, if you want to, you can take it off. If you have a cup cradle or anything like that, and it's easier for you to apply your vinyl that way, definitely do it. I just did it this way because I felt like it was easier to just leave it on the turner. But now I am applying the vinyl outline, and I'm just kind of looking to see where I laid down my stencils, and I was kind of confused because, like I said, there were certain areas in the cup that I forgot to peel up the honeycomb. So you can see I'm like, wait a minute, that I know it's the same one, but it looks a little bit different. That's because I didn't forget, but I missed spots on the other area where it had honeycombs and I didn't lift it up. So that's why I kept like looking back and forth. But anyways, once I figured it out, I applied the vinyl, and I'm just kind of really taking my time here because I want to make sure that it is lined up as perfectly as possible, and I don't want it to look crooked or uneven. So I'm really just eyeballing and making sure that it is, you know, on the right way, because I really wanted these lines to stand out. And you can see just with this first vinyl application, it's like boom, pow, you know, that gold is really sticking out underneath. And I think the clean lines of the black vinyl on top really help kind of pull this whole cup together. All right, so now we've applied all of our little vinyl details on there, and we are ready to apply our top coat of resin. Now if you want to go in and seal all your vinyl in, you can. I just went in with a spray, quick little spray seal, and then once that was dry, I'm going in with another top coat of resin. Okay, so I am going in with a pretty nice amount of resin on here. I want to seal everything in just to make sure we could get all that vinyl that we laid down covered with no issues. Once we're done with our first layer, okay, I just want to make sure that we are covering everything. We're gonna let that cure, and then we're gonna go in with a second coat of resin. Now that that first coat of resin is cured, and we have now our second coat of resin on there, while the resin is tacky, not cured, tacky, Okay, it still needs to be a little bit sticky. We are going to start applying these cute little bee gems. All right, and I got these little bee charm gems on Amazon, and I will have them linked in the description down below as well. When I was applying these little bee charms, I would have wished that my resin was just a little bit more stickier. I kind of waited a little bit too long. I guess I underestimated how quickly this resin would start to set up on me because it is hot in my room. But I just started putting down the bees and started pushing them into the resin. Now if you wanted to, you don't have to apply them into the wet or sticky resin. You can apply them with like a rhinestone glue after your cup has already finished curing, but I just really wanted them to be kind of like a part of the cup and in the resin, so that's what I'm doing. I wanted to make sure it was like stuck inside the resin, and so I'm pushing the charms down into that tacky resin, just making sure it is nice and in there. And then a little bit, I'm gonna fast forward through here in a little bit, but I do grab my torch and I go gently over that cup to kind of get that resin heated up a bit more so that it can really adhere those little charms that I'm putting on the cup. So here's that clip I wanted to show you where I'm heating up the cup again with my torch, and basically what that heat is doing is it kind of just creating more of a tackiness to the resin so that those charms can really stick on there. So I just wanted to blast my cup just a little bit with the torch just to really make sure that those charms were getting into the resin. So that's this little part here, and that's pretty much the end of this cup, because once it is fully cured and you know for sure that your charms are adhered and they're stuck, that's it. That's all you got to do. Clean up your rim and you are ready to go. So let's go ahead and jump in so I can show you guys how the cup turned out. I am absolutely obsessed with how this cup turned out. I think it was like just the right combination of gold, crackle. I mean, everything about it I just love. So let me know what you guys thought about this tutorial in the description down below. Thank you again so much for watching. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video.